It is 31 p.m.
We're happy.
So I would like to call this regular meeting of the Board of Public Safety to order. Are we recording? Yeah, okay, good. So for the record, today is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. We are meeting in person. Is anybody online? Darlene is the only one not here. She's not zooming in, is she? All right, so for attendance purposes, participating in person this evening, we have Commissioner McLeod, Commissioner Cogswell, Commissioner Benedetto, Commissioner McElroy, and Commissioner Young. And as I said, it is, for the record, 6:32 p.m., so we'll jump right into, before we jump into the agenda, could we stand and pledge the flag, please? Thank you. Item number 1 on this agenda is a motion to open the meeting to the public. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto.
Second, Mayor.
Second by Commissioner McLeod. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are open to the public. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the board at this time? And Chief, I think you said you had.
No. Good evening, I'm Battalion Chief Patrick Doyle, and I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to present this award tonight. As supervisor, one of my greatest joys is watching these firefighters learn, grow, and prosper into great servants to this community. As this city should be proud of its emergency service employees, there's a standout and that is why I'm up here tonight. I have a firefighter who's been assigned to my shift for the past 8 years. He fills the role of what we call the senior driver on our shift. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this senior driver position is one of the most influential roles in the fire service. Some will refer to this label as one with the most experience. Others will say it's simply the senior man, regardless of rank. This member does have a great amount of knowledge and experience, but it's his attitude as to what separates the individual from the rest. This individual always puts the people, the department, and the fire service first. It's never about personal gain, but instead about betterment of the whole. This is Aaron Pitts. Now, don't get me wrong, he proves himself worthy of other officers' respect. He knows his job intimately, and he understands the value of knowing his apparatus, his PPE, which is his gear, and the entire complement, and I do mean the entire complement of equipment within our department. He knows every street and corner of this city, and that knowledge makes him an indispensable resource. Now, it's important to note that this could be said about many of the individuals standing on the back wall there. It's just that Aaron has got that something special about him. He exemplifies what we expect from our employees. As a result of his work ethic, he involuntarily is that mentor that the younger kids look up to. He doesn't simply teach the newer firefighters how to perform the task, but also shows them why the task is performed and the effect that it has on the overall fire ground. However, as I stated early in regards to him having that something special, it's truly his attitude that defines him, namely the idea that the department and the fire service in general is more important than the individual firefighter. He understands that his role is to pass along his knowledge and experience to our younger members. As the fire frequency decreases, the experience of this senior man must be passed down to the newer members so that the past mistakes are not repeated on a generational scale. Aaron absolutely allows his actions to speak rather than his words. He's a very soft-spoken individual in our department, but his actions speak loudly. He leads by example and is the model for our newer firefighters to follow. There are some that will delegate the less enjoyable tasks to our newer members, but that's not going to be Aaron. He performs them alongside the rookies time and again, leading by example. This allows our younger, newer firefighters to gain the respect for him as well as the task itself. Being that senior man that he is, he understands that attitude is everything in the fire service. You see, it's a choice for a firefighter to simply meet the minimum requirements or to exceed expectations, and that is what Aaron continues to do. His attitude is contagious, and it prompts the younger members to emulate the firefighter who undertakes that task. They'll even try to perform at a level that will impress him or make him proud. So as Aaron continues to be that senior driver on our shift, he again involuntarily makes the impression that lasts an entire career. Not only do the younger fighters remember these actions, but continue to look to him for guidance. I know he feels the sense of responsibility and pride for the newer firefighters that he's trained. Simply put, Aaron is excellent at what he does every day and an even better role model for all of us. Now, Aaron being that humble guy that I know he is, he's completely uncomfortable sitting there because he's not wanting this. We've talked about this for a couple of weeks and we've had some aggressive talks about this. So Chief Borden, with that said, it's this level of commitment that sets him apart from the average firefighter, and it's why it's my privilege to present to you Senior Driver, Firefighter Aaron Pitts, to receive the Meritorious Service Award for our department. And that is given to an individual that's demonstrated unfailing dedication or vigilance for a lengthy period of time.
Want to offer you congratulations. And thank you for all the hard work and well-deserved medal, acknowledge all the commitment to the department. This is basically a plaque summarizing his lengthy speech, but I made it shorter so I could put it on paper. So, all right, congratulations. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief and Deputy Chief and Firefighter Pitt. We are still open to the public. Is there anyone else from the public wishing to make comment before we close this item? All right, and for the record, let the record reflect that Commissioner Battle is here, present. Moving into item number 2, I'll entertain a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from December 6, 2023.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cogswell. Question or comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Abstain.
And any opposed? And for the record, one abstention would be Commissioner Benedetto. Moving into item number 3, this is the necessity to correct the minutes of the March 1, 2023 meeting. So what I'm looking for is a motion to correct the name of the officer named in those minutes as Thomas Buzzy to Officer Jeffrey Buzzy in the accepted meeting minutes from March 1, 2023. Do I have that motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner
Second, Mayor.
McLeod, seconded by Commissioner Benedetto. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And for, I think an abstention would be Commissioner Young. All right, moving on to item number 4. This doesn't require a motion. It's just an official presentation and some highlights of the Heart Safe Community Certificate. Deputy Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the state of Connecticut, Department of Public Health and the American Heart Association, we have renewed our requirements for it to be a heart-safe community. It's every 3 years we need to do this. We need to show improvement from where we were in the past. So this is businesses that have AEDs in location, training outreach to the public, our partnership with Trinity, and having AEDs in public facilities. So I just want to present to the board on behalf of the state of Connecticut, our updated heart-safe community.
Nice. All right, thank you very much. Moving into item 5, I need a motion to enter into an executive session pursuant to CGS Section 1-200 subsection 6, subsection A, regarding personnel promotions. With that motion, we would be inviting Chief Borden and Deputy Chief Drupp.
So moved.
I heard Commissioner Cogswell and Commissioner Benedetto. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We can adjourn to the room 224. Everybody settled in? All right, so at this point, it is now 6:56 PM. I need a motion to go into open session.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner
Second.
Benedetto, and seconded by
Second.
Commissioner McLeod. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we're going to move into item 7. From the floor, do I have a motion?
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to promote James Brown to the position of lieutenant effective 2/11/2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
So motion made by Commissioner Benedetto, seconded by Commissioner Battle. Are there questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? This motion carries. And at this point, what I'd like to request is a motion to recess for the purposes of administering the oath for this promotion.
So
Do I have a motion? Thank you,
Second.
Commissioner Cogswell, second by Commissioner Benedetto. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, we are recessed. Chief, you want to?
Firefighter James Brown to the podium, and your wife, Victoria, who will be pinning you. Face the mayor.
All right, congratulations. So I guess I should entertain a motion to come back into open session again. Do I have a motion to come back into open session?
Second.
Thank you. I heard Commissioner Cogswell, seconded by Commissioner Benedetto. For the record, it is now 7 o'clock. So we must move into item 8 for regular business. I welcome everyone to stay. It's rather dry from here on out. But if you wanted to go out and start the celebration early, this is your opportunity to get out.
Would have made them wait.
I know, really. Listen to us.
Invited to the party.
Okay. I think we'll just talk over the noise. So item number 8, I need a motion to accept Gavin Morrell as a regular member of the Torrington Police Department after successfully completing his probationary period effective February 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Young. Any questions or comments on this?
Be here? No.
Chief, any issues? No, good.
If there are no further questions, I'll call the motion. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Good. Item number 9, I'll entertain a motion to accept Police Chief Baldwin's reports for November and December 2023.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto. Second by Commissioner McLeod. Questions or comments on the reports?
Chief, just into the traffic division, I see that we're really moving up on traffic tickets, unpaid. Have we got any results? Can we go into new process with
We're getting,
suspended registrations and
we're getting significant results in, the motor vehicle, the parking tickets. Sergeant Wallace has, instituted the new, apps that are now available where individuals can pay online, and we've been actually doing very well. We're actually, we're getting more people complying than we have in the past. So, it's been very successful.
says November was 405,000 and it's 409,000 December. So
Yep.
that's good.
Yeah, it's actually working well. Technology is amazing.
Amazing,
It's actually
yeah.
working very well.
Another thing is overtime. We have a plan on how we're gonna,
Not with the shorthandedness. We will, I speak to the mayor about it on a frequent basis. We are more than likely going to be well over our allotted budget, and it will continue on into the future. Myself and the deputy chief, we have weekly staff meetings. We discuss how we can move people around, and we have come up with another plan to help alleviate some of that related to the personnel on day shift. We're using our people that are in the special investigations and special assignments to help backfill a lot of those patrol assignments. So we're in the process of doing that right now to help curb and alleviate some of that overtime. A lot of it has to do with training. We're required to do training. We're mandated to do training. And again, it just boils down to the fact that we're so shorthanded. We're down 12 people right now, and we will probably be down one more is planning on leaving as well. So we'll be down.
how is, January looking? We only have November and December report. November was 85 and then December was 102. Did we go up in January?
January. our right now, we are at, we're in week 29 of our overtime, and we are at, we've got 25% left for the rest of the year. So our surplus is about 204,000 left in our overtime budget. We also, Deputy just reminded me, the other thing too that offsets a lot of that is we have grants. We have a DWI grant, we have a stolen motor vehicle grant, we have a speeding grant that we applied for. So we're able to bring officers onto shifts, utilizing those grants that help reduce the amount of overtime that we're budgeted for. So there's a significant savings, and then I guess if you can call it a savings, that there's a significant savings with the grant money that we get.
When these officers are in grants, are they allowed to make other calls? You send them, or no, just?
They're specifically they're meant to fulfill the grant for what to fulfill the function for what the grant
Grant
is written for. But if we have an emergency or we have a situation where the officer needs to respond, then he obviously can be broken from that grant and can go and do the work that is required of him.
And the grants come out of the overtime fund, and then the grants that we
Reimbursed.
apply, and they reimbursed in that way. So.
Okay.
I have a question that might wait till later. You're going to elaborate on the contract, on the new contract somewhere today?
My only comment was going to be that we approved, the city council approved the contract. The other.
Okay, no, and the reason I'm asking that is, and I'm bringing it up now is, do you anticipate that that could help so far as overtime also because of, perhaps being able to hire people, with the enhanced package, that type of thing,
Well, as I explained.
get a little lucky maybe,
As I explained to the city council, the new contract is a significant benefit for our officers, for the city. It's going to help attract individuals, but it's not the magic wand that is all of a sudden going to make, bring everybody on board. Just as an example, we continuously check our websites for applicants. And we use the CPCA website, and we use the police app websites, and we have different methods by which we recruit people. We had one person apply. And generally speaking, when we get people, we give conditional offers, as you know, the background investigations determine that they're not worthy of being an officer. We're still it still is a nationwide problem where, recruitment and retention is a nationwide problem. As I mentioned, we're going to be potentially losing one more person who's getting out of police work altogether and is going to be going into the private sector. He's at it with just law enforcement in general. The other issue is that we are an isolated community. We're the largest city in the northwest corner. But we don't have people from our area knocking down the door to be police officers. A lot of the officers that we're getting are from abroad. They're from the Hartford area, the Fairfield County area, the Hartford County area, the New London County area. And they, as we've mentioned before many times, this department becomes a training ground and a stepping stone for individuals who want to move on. They get trained, they get certified, they do their time, and then they move on to other departments. And in all honesty, again, we've done very well. I think the mayor and the city council and our human resources director really stepped up to give this union a great contract, recognizing the need to bring the salaries of our officers up to be more competitive or to be on par with many of the other departments. Now, this contract we're not the lowest paid department, we're not the highest paid department, but we're probably in the upper middles now. And we can't compete with our salaries with other agencies. But again, a lot of it's geographic. A lot of it has to do with the officers that come here. We have officers from West Springfield. We have an officer from Bridgeport. We have an officer from down along the shore. And after a while, them traveling an hour and a half to come up to Torrington is not good for them and their families. And they decide that, if you've got Fairfield or you have Greenwich or you have one of these other departments that are hiring, it's just easier for them to laterally transfer to that department. We constantly recruit for lateral transfers. We're looking for people to laterally transfer. We're involved in job fairs. Our officer was here the other day at the Northwest Chamber of Commerce job fair. We are going to Tungus Community College for a job fair in April. So we're getting out there trying to do the best we can to recruit individuals to come onto the department. I think, again, as I said, the contract is a great stepping stone. I think it's going to help move us forward. It's going to help retain. But there's other issues, and you know, I know it's a third rail issue that we talk about, but we need to talk about pensions. Other departments and agencies, and cities are bringing back the pensions. They're seriously considering them. They're bringing them. They're looking at bringing them back. Again, I understand that there's a lot of negotiations that have to be done, but I appreciate it. The mayor has spoken about it. She's willing to discuss it. Members of this board are willing to discuss it. Members of the city council are willing to discuss it. To me, that's a positive step in the right direction. Whether or not it ever comes to fruition, you know, we're going to have to wait and see. But the fact that we're recognizing it as a potential, having a potential impact on at least retention, I think we're going in the right direction. So
Where do we stand right now as far as applicants and in academy, anybody?
we have 4 people currently in the academy. I can give you the exact numbers. Just two officers just completed their FTO training, so they're on the road, which is good. We have 2 officers now on FTO, and we have 3 people in the academy right now. So again, this is, as you all know, this is a long process from the minute we give a conditional offer, we do the interviews, to the backgrounds, to the academy, to training, to FTO. It's about a year's process. And we are constantly fighting against other agencies for seats in these academies. We're using we're using satellite academies, we're using Post Academy, we're doing everything we can to get seats. And then they'll give us 4 seats, and then once we're done with backgrounds, we have 1 or 2 people that we're moving forward. So I have 2 officers on the FTO program right now. They just graduated. 3 officers right now are in the academy, and as I said, 2 just got off of FTO.
That brings us down to 11 short?
We're down 12 short,
12.
probably soon to be 13.
And how many got out hurt?
Pardon me?
How many are on hurt?
Right now, we have 2 officers are out on injury. We have another officer who just advised us that she's pregnant, so she'll be out for a period of time. Or she'll be on light duty for a period of time. So we're, so we have, so yeah, I mean, that's it. So we have 2 on light duty, right? Or 2, one's on light duty, one's out injured with a off-duty ankle injury. One's on light duty with a workman's comp related injury, and we have the other officer that has the maternity thing going. So, I'm sorry, and we also have a sergeant that is out as well who's sick. So again, so when you talk about our overtime, when we have all these things taking place, on top of the fact that we're shorthanded, we're doing the best we can. And
Citizen patrol?
well, listen, I'll give all 6 of you a conditional offer right now if you want to join the department. The mayor, she's got her own work to do, but the 6 of you are more than willing to be officers. And that includes Chief Borden and Chief Tripp if they want to join as well.
He's got background in it.
And Jeff, if you're interested.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Yes.
One question, and I'm not suggesting this, but I'm just asking for the heck of it. Waterbury is one of the ones that has a satellite training, is that correct?
Yes, they do.
How much does that cost them to do something like that?
I don't know. You don't know.
Well, you gotta, they do ask the other departments to pay, and it's roughly what Post sets, so I think it's maybe 3,800 or something.
I just signed a PO for 3,800.
But where the real cost is incurred is staffing.
Hmm.
There's a lot to staffing these academies, bringing instructors in and doing things like that. So some of the larger departments are able to do it because they have the staffing, they have the instructors right in-house, and they can pull them, whether it's pulling off a shift or pulling them from where to do the instructing. Then they have so many people assigned to their training division and firearms unit. And that's who mainly run it.
And I'm not suggesting it for here. I'm just curious because I've seen, I think Bridgeport has one also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And I just curious how they make those work within the parameters of.
They pull in other instructors too. I've gone to Waterbury like during Firearms Week and had to, down there to help assist because they require so many people on the range for that. And they'll bring other departments in to help assist other instructors. New Britain does the same thing. They'll bring other instructors in.
Other questions for the chief? All right, then I'm going to call this motion. The motion was made by Commissioner Benedetto, second by Commissioner McLeod to accept Police Chief Baldwin's reports. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving into the Fire Department report. I'll entertain a motion to accept Fire Chief Borden's reports again for November and December 2023.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto, seconded by Commissioner McLeod. Questions for the chief on his report?
Chief, I'm gonna ask you the same question about overtime. I see it increased, November was 83,000. December was 67,000. What's this month looking like? And where are we stand on the budget?
Right now, I don't have the budget.
Okay.
The expense report that is it looks very high, but part of that money, number or spend as a result. Yeah, with that, we've had up to 6 vacancies, so we have money. Long-term, that retirement, so we had a retirement, we had our first lead part of that, we've been short for full strength for a while, so, with that cycles the overtime in. And also, we think calls that required, expensive, time seeing. Listening on, I apologize. So we've had a lot, not a lot more and considering, but there's been an uptick on the callbacks that we have to do to maintain the fire service level that we have to carry to provide our services to the community while the other units are tied up.
How about mutual aid? Have we been out of the city?
Again, there's been a slight increase in that. It hasn't been anything dramatic. But I think that trend's going to continue for quite a while because a lot of our neighboring towns are suffering for membership. It's not unique to this region, the state, or even, this part of the country. It's all over. So unless something drastically changed and a lot more people start to volunteer and start to support these departments, they're going to be looking for their mutual aid partners to help them out where they can. And likewise, we do our best to bring them back in when we can to kind of offset.
Is there any talk about regionalizing or any kind of compensation to us? Because I know we send paid personnel and they send us volunteers if they have them. So what are we gonna do? Like, if we need, like, say, a ladder and they don't have people to send it? You're running short like we use Bantam, right, and Litchfield's ladder?
Yeah.
It's hard to get volunteers.
It's a day by day thing, so they can't guarantee that they're going to be able to provide,
Mhm.
Something if they have the staffing to be able to do that or the members, available. Obviously, they're going to send it to us. So they make every effort. But again, it's a volunteer thing. That it's not like, Torrington or any other career department where, you're a known entity or known quantity in the equation.
Is it mostly for our RIT team? That are
At
going?
times, yes.
That's-
So again, both Drakeville and Torringford have been struggling for a few years now with membership as well. They're starting to see an uptick on people wanting to apply and become members there. But it takes a little while to get them ready to go because they have to have a lot of training and things like that. So it's not just a real quick fix. And to answer your question for regionalization, I mean, that's been tossed around for my entire career in the fire service. And New England is very unique in the sense of our tax structure and everything else that I don't think never really wanted to bite onto that and say, how are we going to make this work? If you're people trying to combine monies from different communities.
Yeah. And who do you communicate with? Just the fire chief up there? Do you communicate with the selectmen? Who actually makes the mutual agreement? The selectmen, say Litchfield or Bantam Borough?
Yeah, so we have to look at all of our mutual aid agreements because I think everything's really outdated and be able to say, what can you provide, when can you provide, et cetera. And it's hard for them to, put pen to paper to say exactly what they'll be able to give you every single time you call them.
Mhm.
But the area chiefs meet
They make the call.
So they would lobby with that. So if we were to entertain entering into any kind of a mutual agreement, again, that would be presented to the board here first to be able to review it and see what our level of commitment is, what our risk exposures, et cetera, would be.
Mhm.
We're going to commit to doing things on a regular basis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Chief, I have a question. A couple of weeks ago, there was a big article in the Waterbury Republican, the Republican American, in regards, from the Waterbury Fire Department in regards to all the carcinogens and everything, that, you know, the dangers of fighting fires today and cleaning of equipment. And I know I thought we put in a budget or something. Have we taken care of the problem we had? Didn't we have stuff break down or so far as
We're in the process of getting.
washer and dryer, for lack of a better term for what you use?
Just the technical terms, an extractor, it's just a very large
Do
washing machine.
do-
to be able
do
to
we
do-
have one now?
We have one that is operational, but it's on its last leg. We're in the process of trying to order a new one now. We do have it in the budget and we're trying to get quotes and all that stuff together so we can make that happen.
I mean, is there a problem with ordering it or is it?
No, it's just getting to, get down to it and then get the 3 quotes, but we also have to look at the infrastructure of the firehouse because when you upgrade equipment that's, I don't want to say extremely old, but it's quite old, the extractor that's there now, the new one may require a new service feed, may require reinforcing of the floor that it's on, et cetera, because these things are very high torque things that
Mhm.
get all those carcinogens and stuff out. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more to it that you can't just say, yeah, I'm gonna go pick that and buy it, because, well, you buy it and now all of a sudden you have another 5 or 6,000 or sometimes even more dollars that weren't accounted for that you have to do to actually get this thing installed and upgrade your facility.
Yeah, I'd just be concerned that we're not, in the meantime, everything isn't being cleaned well enough and how's that? And
No.
unfortunately, we've experienced that issue in Torrington.
Over the,
You know, and it's not a.
few years now, a lot of departments have gotten their own individual extractors. If we were to have a problem, we also have the fire school, which is in Torrington. They have extractors there that we could use, and worst comes to worst, we'd have to ship it out. But we wouldn't want to put our firefighters in gear that's contaminated. First and foremost, it's the safety because of the cancer.
How long has it been broken?
I'm sorry?
Is it broken or is it?
It's
Not
been
working
serviced a few
100%.
times and they're slowly getting to it, but we're at the point now, it's like, well, we can't keep putting money into it. It has to be replaced. So it does work. It's one of those things you have to hit a reset on it and you kind of have to monitor it more than before, like you would at home. You know, you set everything and it does its cycle and you come back and you take everything out for drying. It's a little bit more intensive. And with that said,
If it's a
when's the next
safety
shoe
thing,
gonna
we
drop?
should put it a priority.
It is.
Other questions for Chief Borden? Hearing none, I'll call this motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll go into the EMS provider report. I'll entertain a motion to accept EMS provider activity reports for November and December.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner
Second.
Benedetto, seconded by Commissioner McLeod. Any questions on the report that's been provided?
I just have a quick question on the new ambulance. Is it in service? How's it doing? Is it taking a load off our fire department?
Yeah, so I think, when you look at our, numbers past calls, we really put those down. Really about this, again, it's not how many calls per day, it's how many calls you get. So I think, you're not gonna get delayed. So I think it really has cut down on the amount of mutual aid that we're utilizing.
Uh-huh. How about us utilizing the fire department? Is that cut down, chief, on your side?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So by policy, when a mutual aid ambulance, so whether it's from Goshen or Winston or whatever, that's an automatic response from the fire department regardless of the call type. That we've seen a dramatic drop of having that additional ambulance on. But again, like Jeff had mentioned, it's really by the hour or by the call. There's no way to forecast how that is. So there are times even with that additional ambulance that they just overtax Trinity's ability for what they're contracted for to do here. So we would have to rely on a mutual aid partner. But by and large, I think we've seen a large dent for reduction of that.
And I see in town Hartford Healthcare, they getting into the business?
So Hartford Healthcare only does transfers out of Charlotte. You know, they don't have a PSA here, and they actually don't respond under mutual aid. They just do transfers out of Charlotte.
I see a pickup roaming around town.
Yeah, doing discharges from the hospital, interfacility transfers to other hospitals.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Jeff? All right, we'll move into item number 12. I'll entertain a motion to consider business by the volunteer fire departments.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you, Commissioner Benedetto, second by Commissioner Cogswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tom is here.
Evening, Commissioners, evening, Chiefs. For the record, Captain Tom Kalinowski with the Drakeville Volunteer Fire Department. So I have both December and January's reports here. Between the 2 months, we've responded to a total of 27 calls for service, and we've made 24 of those. I did list the calls in the reports as well. On the training side, we completed a cumulative total between all of our members of 215.5 training hours for both of those months. That included training on fire suppression, driver training, hydrants, communications, SCBAs. And since this is a big concern nationally as well, we want to update, we do have 14 active firefighters. 5 of them are interior, and we just sent 4 additional exteriors to the firefighter 1 class at the Litchfield County Regional Fire School. So they just began that on Tuesday. We're anticipating the graduation date will be late May, early June. So we're on track to increase those numbers. And then we also cleared 1 more driver on Tanker 38. There are now 3 qualified drivers on Tanker 38, 2 for Engine 35, and 6 for Brush 36. On the community engagement side, Drakeville participated. We conducted our annual tree burn on January 20th, which was very well attended. Great community event. And we also participated in the No Child Left Inside event at Burr Pond State Park on February 3rd. And then the only item of attention that I wanted to bring to this board was the previously communicated in the December reports. We did form an apparatus replacement committee in-house to take a look at Engine 35's replacement, which is now 35 years old. It's our only frontline pumper, and it is not NFPA compliant. So we're looking at options to formulate for replacement of that truck. Currently, our lead times are 2 to 3 years out, so this is not something that will happen overnight, but we are starting to look at that as well.
But Tanker 38, how long, have you mutual aid it at all in the last couple months?
Yes, it's responded to the towns of Goshen and Norfolk for structure fires. That was in September and October.
Other questions for Captain Kalinowski?
So how many members you have total?
We have 14 firefighters. 5 of those are interior and 4 are in the process of being trained to be interior.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Podium is, there's nobody else from Torringford here tonight, is there?
Yes, you Gary
I
Short.
can't, I know. Is, how about on the Zoom call? Nobody?
No, it's just battalion chief.
Okay. All right, we'll move into item 13. I'll entertain a motion to consider business by department heads.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cogswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are open. Chief Baldwin, anything to add this evening? Feel like you got grilled with your report there.
All I can say is that the one brave soul, John Monk, is here. Thank you, John, for being here to go through this, our meeting tonight. John's our comptroller. Appreciate his work and helping us with the budget. The only thing right now is we're, myself and Deputy Chief, we're working on the budget right now. We have a deadline of Friday that we'll get our first draft in. We did, as the captain mentioned, we were at the No Child Left Behind at Burr Pond. It was very well attended. As the captain, we were with Torrington Fire as well. It was a great effort from our city to help Deep with this annual event. It was a very well attended. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Questions? Deputy Chief, anything this evening?
I'm good, Mayor. I think I said enough earlier.
Chief Borden.
Similar to the police department, we're in the process of budget development as well and trying to wrap things up for Friday. We've attended over the course of the time since we last met, excuse me, a few public relations events, which were very well received. And lastly, we completed up the entry level testing. We made 5 additional job offers. Those 5 individuals are scheduled to go to the Fire Academy on Sunday, the 11th, to report there. And once they complete the Fire Academy, we'll bring them in front of the board and do formal introductions, and we'll discuss some kind of ceremonial thing for badge bidding for them.
Chief, that'll be Monday night, not Sunday.
I'm sorry,
Monday night, not Sunday.
I thought they had to report Sunday night.
No, it's a holiday on Monday, so they're coming in Monday night.
That was one of my questions. I knew it was a holiday, but thank you for the clarification.
Some of us have to
But I
work that
do,
holiday.
I'm sorry,
Some of us have to work that holiday.
used to. So with that said, on the recruitment side of it for this new entry level thing, we were kind of blown away. We forecasted probably 40 applicants to come in. We used an independent testing company to do both a written and an oral, and then we followed it up with internal oral. We ended up getting 91 applicants that came in. That was pretty impressive that many people are interested in the Torrington Fire Department, and it gives us a pretty robust list to continue on with for quite a while.
Chief, any local candidates apply?
Yes.
Anybody want to be cop?
A lot of them that weren't selected.
You want some
You
square?
probably cross-trained.
So that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Anything, Deputy Chief Tripp?
Oh, ma'am, I'm all set. Thank you.
No, welcome back. It's good to see you healthy. Jeff, anything else this evening?
Yeah, so we continue to upgrade our fleet. We just purchased 4 new ambulances. One of them will be coming to the city of Torrington here. Just got OEMS inspected 2 of them, so I'm gonna be registering them on Friday. All 4 of them are gonna have power load stretchers in them, which we have had in our bariatric units for years. We're putting them in hopefully all the new ambulances we purchase. We're gonna see what the crews think of it. And again, one of them will be sent here to Torrington. We have just beginning to roll out our Narcan leave behind kits. So there's a lot that's involved in that. Face shields, we have to have instructions, et cetera, for people. And these will be left behind on scenes of fentanyl or heroin overdoses. And there'll be some teaching to the, family members, et cetera, on the use of it. And hoping to have that rolled out maybe sometime next week. We've also purchased 5 new power stair chairs. So if you ever seen our regular stair chairs, it's just a folding chair with seat belts on it and handles that we use to go down a set of stairs. They actually have tracks that you can deploy that slows the descend of the patient down the stairs. The only problem is coming upstairs with them. Then you have to actually do a regular lift. This is where these new power stair chairs come in. They're actually motorized. They have a battery. You can do, I think, 72 flights of stairs with one charge. So those are already out in they're going to be in every fly car that we have. So each division will have one. Our quality and training guy is, I don't know, probably 6'8" and probably north of 300 pounds. He's like a linebacker, and myself and another paramedic actually carried him up and down the stairs basically with a switch. So, it's not a cure-all. There are some applications where they don't work on difficult stairs, but we're going to do a trial on them and see what the crews think of them. Again, we probably will never get away from a manual stair chair, but we may purchase more of them if they work out well. So That's pretty much
Jeff,
all.
just a quick question on your, on the Narcan, the kits,
Yes.
are, were they gonna be locally, or you handing them out to actual people, or are they gonna be put in places?
Yeah, so when we respond to an overdose, even if, you know, Narcan was given prior to our arrival by the family or somebody else, we are going to try to educate, the families, whoever is there, and we will leave those kits behind. It's got like a face mask in it, and it's also got, you know, brochures on, help for, you know, for these patients, and instructions on how to use the nasal Narcan. So something we're just going to be leaving behind. If even if we don't transport, or we do transport, it's something that we're going to give to them. So
And how is your staffing issues? Are you having trouble recruiting?
no, we're fully staffed in
Okay.
Torrington, so doing good. Nobody out on injuries right now, so
Maybe you should get together with the chiefs.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jeff? Thank you. All right, then let's move into item 14. I'll entertain a motion to consider business by the mayor and members.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto, second by Commissioner Cogswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are open, and we'll start with Commissioner Battle. Anything this evening?
Yep, we wanted to say congratulations to the firefighter for his service and receiving those awards. We came in at the end of that. We also want to congratulate firefighter Brown for his promotion. For our department, for Morel, for him coming off of probation, and we're good to see everyone, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner O'Cloud.
Yeah, just the one thing I want to say is I want to say I'm thankful that police union and the city worked out the contract that they did. That's something that we've discussed for the 10 years I've been on the board, and to make progress as much as we've got a long way to go was really great to hear and see. So I'm real happy about that.
Commissioner Cogswell.
Yes, that won't take too much time, but at our December meeting, we voted to establish a policy subcommittee consisting of myself, Commissioner McLeod, Commissioner McElroy. We did hold an organizational meeting before this meeting tonight just to get a few things ironed out before we actually start reviewing any policies or forwarding anything to this board. But just wanted to update in their infinite wisdom, they elected me as chair. Not sure why they did that, but also we talked about as part of that, the process, and just want to make sure everyone's aware here that whether it's a fire, EMS, if EMS is involved, police, if something's coming up, you know, we will make sure that departments are there for those conversations. We need that feedback and input. So when there is something that's coming up, we are going to make sure that all stakeholders are part of that conversation, along with corporation counsel, just to make sure that we're not anything from a contract or policy from a city charter, anything along those lines. So before anything goes to the full board, there would be a conversation at the subcommittee that would involve all those stakeholders and hopefully iron out anything. So just want to make sure that that's pretty clear that we all agree on that. And then next is, you know, I know everyone probably has their ideas of things that need to be looked at. We're not going to do it all at once. There's just no way of that. So our idea is to try and take one or two at a time. But at the same time, generate a list of ones that we do want to potentially look at. But I just wanted to, I guess, those first two things, and we're going to set a meeting in the future. I'll reach out to each stakeholder, is going to be speaking about those EMS calls for the fire department and kind of just the criteria around that. And then the lockout calls, which come out a lot as well, just to discuss those two issues. But if you do have policy issues, whether it's our chiefs, anyone from your departments and your command staff, this board, department heads, would just ask to please bring them to our attention. And then we could talk about, you know, the appropriateness and if it's something we can address, but understand that there might be 10 things that want to be done at this point. It's not going to work that way. It'll be really going to take this on what's we can do and what's reasonable, and also kind of a priority as well. But that's the update. We will be starting to meet regularly to go through some of these, and we'll put those notices out there. And but we're off and running. Just wanted to report that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Benedetto.
First, congratulations, firefighter Aaron Pitts and Lieutenant, Mike Zavakai for his service to the city. Thank him for that. One thing on the police side, Chief, I was officiating I was going in to officiate a basketball game at the Armory. And the 5th and 6th girls were practicing. And it was open as a heating center. And it smelled so bad like marijuana. And there was some people in there that made the parents very uncomfortable when they had young girls on the floor and they're sitting on the front row of the bleachers. I don't know what you can do about it, but as far as conduct, when they're in there, a dog pooped in the in the lobby and didn't pick it up. You know, they just didn't respect the property that they were in. So I just wanted to address, I went to the Park and Rec director. He said he was going to touch base with you. I don't know if he did.
Yeah, it's just one of those problems that we have to deal with when we're dealing with a population that has some mental health issues and things along that line. But we are, you know, we're very limited as to where our warming shelters are. They've been established. The Armory is one of those shelters that is set aside for both cooling and warming during severe weather. Generally speaking, the area that's set aside for the Armory is the kitchen area. So people shouldn't be congregating or in the area where the kids are or where the basketball games are. And I've explained to our Park and Rec director that if there's issues with any of the homeless or any of the people, regardless of whether they're homeless or not, any issues whatsoever, they should give us a call. Send the officer down where we can address any potential problems that may be taking place at the event, or if they're not aware of where they're supposed to be, we can direct them to the proper location until such time as the weather breaks. But we get the notice from the governor. The governor initiates these protocols. Our larger municipalities, such as our city here, has to do our best to accommodate the people that are less fortunate and don't have the ability to stay warm. And the Armory is one of those places because it's open. You know, the other thing we have to, you know, we do consider is, you know, the costs associated with opening these facilities. The auditorium here is also a warming shelter, but during business hours, co-park during business hours, or, you know, they'd have to hire somebody. But the Armory has already been established as one of those shelters for a limited period of time.
And one other safety issue I thought was, you could walk right through that front door of that Armory, and there's two city employees working in an office. They can't see who walks in that building. And even when it's not open as a heating center or warming center, is there something they could do to secure that building, or does it have to be open 24/7?
Well,
I mean, during business hours, or it's a city building, I understand that. But is there protection for the workers?
The Armory is a multi-use facility, and I'm going to defer to the mayor on this. I'm sorry, Mayor.
And I know it's
But
a public building, it's open to the public.
But I can't tell you that the city is looking into camera systems for various locations within our city. We're moving in that direction. That may be a possibility, but Mayor, I'll let you. Oh,
You know, some of the ARPA funding that we have, we originally set aside some funding for security cameras. It certainly would make sense that there'd be some kind of safety protocols for the employees. And even if it isn't security cameras or locked doors, if they have some protection that separates them from the general public. It is tough because that Armory is open to seniors that walk in the morning around the Armory. There's a group of senior citizens that go in to play cards. So we don't want to discourage those positive uses. We'd prefer to see those positive uses. And unfortunately, because of its location, it does become an attractive hangout place for people that don't have anything else to do during the day. a little bit of work to do on that. You know, it remains to be seen what happens with some of our other public buildings once the Board of Education decides what they're going to do with the redistricting. What buildings become available? You know, is it a possibility that the recreation offices could be moved into one of those other buildings? That might pose less traffic, that kind of traffic. So a lot of things to be discussed over the next 2 years, but maybe there's some stopgap measures we can take. And I agree with you, you know, the director is on the second floor and the women are on the first floor.
Yeah,
You know, maybe it's even just moving those offices.
And I've been down there quite a bit lately, and it's, you know, just walking, they hang out on the front steps. It's just uncomfortable. We don't want to deter the seniors from going in there walking in the morning, or
Right.
the young girls or parents dropping their kids off to the armory to practice basketball, and they don't feel safe, so they have to stay.
Mm.
So that was the only point I was trying to bring up.
Those are public safety issues, so I appreciate that you did. Thank you. Commissioner McElroy.
We need to do subcommittee.
Yep, I'm going to add it. Yeah.
New Hope Baptist Church wants to thank Lieutenant Capel and his crew for responding up there today to help with an unforeseen water issue in their church. They did a really good job and helped them out, very professional. Also like to congratulate Lieutenant Zavakai and the Torrington Fire for his service, Aaron Pitts for his award, and newly Lieutenant James Brown of the Torrington Fire Department.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Young, anything this evening?
I would just like to congratulate Officer Morale for getting off his probationary status. And I'd like to congratulate both firefighters who got awarded tonight and their great efforts.
Excellent. Okay, so I just wanted to take this opportunity with every election, municipal election, I should say, the board, half the board turns over or is reelected and doesn't turn over. But I've always tried to move our commissioners among the two subcommittees for the police department and the fire department subcommittees, that you're available for meetings with the respective chiefs, you know, during interview for hires. So unfortunately, I didn't do that after the election in November. And Commissioner McElroy reminded me that he's been on the same committee for the past 4 years. And it
Does a
feels
good job, though.
really.
And I did enjoy it.
So, so I will entertain a motion to accept my recommendation that we switch it up a little bit. So for the police department subcommittee, I am looking to appoint Darlene Battle, Greg Cogswell, and Doug Benedetto. And for the fire department subcommittee, I'd be looking at Joe McElroy, Tyler Young, and Glenn McLeod.
Mayor, just before, do you need a section B before you do that, or? can you just
No,
add it?
I don't, yeah, it's, I don't even think I need to do this, but just so that there's
moved.
a record. Thank
Second.
you. So motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just figured I'd ask that question after we're correcting minutes from almost.
I know, well, yeah. Yeah, this I was talking earlier. I don't think it was necessary, but you know, it's that record. So going forward, if anybody says, well, why did you do it or when did you do it? There's a record. With that said, I will just do some touch points on the police contract. When I went into negotiations with the union, I took very much to heart a lot of the feedback that this board gave to me over the past couple of years. Chief Baldwin and Deputy Chief Barone were absolutely amazing. Any data that we needed to support where we should be going, to help us gauge where we are in our competitive edge. Bart Barone, if you don't know this about the deputy chief, he really knows how to move around an Excel spreadsheet. I'm grateful for the guidance that they provided to me. It was, I think, 2 meetings and we were done. So I think it was the right thing to do at the right time. We did go a little deep into the taxpayers' pocket, but it was necessary. And I was a little delighted to hear even the council, when they were approving this or ratifying this, indicated that we're getting where we should be, but they were willing to entertain more. So greatly appreciate everybody's effort on that. And Budget Subcommittee. We have Commissioner Benedetto and Commissioner Young. I think we're putting you on this one. I'll send out a subcommittee meeting schedule so that we can get moving on those budget reviews and march this along. I got the governor's first draft of a budget projection. It isn't pretty. They're once again, talking about eliminating motor vehicle tax, which can be devastating to a city like Torrington. So not sure where we're going to land after all of this. And with all of that, I see no further business before the board. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yeah, Chief, please.
Regarding the contract talks, and I know we were remiss when we don't recognize the union leadership in this as well. The president, Gonska, the vice president, Ed Mum, the negotiating committee on the union side, and all the executive board, they were very reasonable. And again, I just think we need to recognize their efforts as well.
I appreciate your saying that. And just to give the commission an example, when we came to the table and we said, what is the goal? The goal was wages. So we peeled away all of those little things that become noise and that complicate these negotiations. And they agreed, we're not going to, look so hard at, bumping a stipend by $5. We left the premium cost share alone. We wanted to come to the table with, a real focus. And one of the other new items that came into that contract this time, which I was quite pleased to TA right away, is to provide stipends for our veterans. And I felt, particularly because we are now working on working with the Army through the Army Pays program, that we're really putting our money where our mouth is on that one. So thank you, Chief. I appreciate you bringing that up. All right, I'll entertain that motion to adjourn. Thank you, Commissioner Benedetto.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cogswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks.
Yes.
I said to